Hello, and welcome back to Stratos Live. My name is Michael Deketer, coming to you from Chicago, Illinois. And here's your host, bringing you the hottest topics in cloud, digital transformation, ERP and CRM, Microsoft announcements, and all of the updates for partners in the channel, and so much more. Before I forget, don't forget to like and subscribe to get updates and notifications to all things Stratos, but also to get notified when we go live during our weekly live chats here on LinkedIn and YouTube. We also encourage your engagement with us. Type a question in the comment section. We'll try to get to it during our live Q&A today. Now, today, we are discussing all in on AI, why partners must embrace Copilot now or get left behind. The Microsoft partner ecosystem is on the verge of another really large seismic shift, and it's all about AI and Copilot. You can't stop hearing about it, right? In this Stratos Live, we're going to break down the key takeaways from Microsoft's latest announcements, including some major incentive updates, new solution areas, and the massive TAM opportunity available to partners who act now. Today, joining me is Mr. Scott May, our regular guest on our lives. Welcome, Scott. Where are you calling in from?
Well, hello, Mike, and I'm calling in again from beautiful, Findlay, Ohio, where it's hot and humid and in the middle of summer. So
excellent. Well, thanks for being here again. I want to jump right into it. I know you've been doing a lot of research on this, attending lots of Microsoft webinars, reading content, and making sure that you're familiarizing yourself with everything that's going on with Copilot and AI as our partners need to know this information. So what is going all in on AI and Copilot, and why is it so important?
Well, as everybody probably knows, it's the beginning of Microsoft's new fiscal year, 2026, hard to believe. And, they do a lot of sessions and meetings, updating all of the partners in regards to all of the changes forthcoming for the year. And obviously, we've been talking about AI for, the past year, 2 years at this point. But, out of this last session, there was just pretty much every session, every point, it was ubiquitous within, the communication. And, the theme was really, AI and Copilot. It's going to go through and be, in everything, in all the solutions. And, as you had mentioned before, it's really a paradigm shift, right? I'm old enough to basically say I've been through the DOS to Windows paradigm shift. I've been through the Windows to cloud shift, and now it's really the cloud to AI, right? And Microsoft's position on this was this is going to happen even faster, and it's going to be even bigger. And if you're not going to go through and be on top of it as a partner, then you're going to go and get left behind. And your clients are going to start to go through and look for those partners who are. And it's not just in one area, right? It's across the entire Microsoft cloud platform that this is happening. So it's exciting, but it's also challenging. And, we at Stratos Cloud Alliance, we're here to help our partners kind of navigate that. And so, like I said, it definitely is a huge, opportunity, in front of partners.
Microsoft talked a lot about the total addressable market. Can you talk a little bit about what that looks like?
Yeah, they refer to it as TAM, and it continues to grow. So, they broke it out really into their two kind of market segments now that they go after. Enterprise, right, which is typically addressed with EA agreements and things of that nature. For the enterprise, the total addressable market was somewhere in that $574 billion range, right? So, that's from Microsoft, that's from IDC, that's from the projections. But, we deal mostly, Mike, with, that kind of small to medium corporation, if you will, with our partners that we work with. And that's one of the biggest areas for growth. It's $777 billion opportunity. And Microsoft, relies on partners to go after that market. I think they mentioned somewhere in that, what they now call the SME and C segment. That's a change for this fiscal year 26, that within that segment, they have 20,000 what they would consider managed clients accounts. those are managed clients. Those aren't the clients even that basically are unmanaged. So they heavily rely on Microsoft partners to assist them with going after that market share. And a huge component of that is going to be within AI and Copilot. Uh, Obviously, within the dynamic solutions, that Stratos works with and our partners, you'll see Copilot, being continued to be driven in to all of the solutions basically that are within there. So tons of opportunities for partners to take advantage of that, um, and grow their business, and that's what we're here to help them do.
Yeah. Microsoft talked a lot about the three main solution areas and how those incentives are shifting there within those areas.
Mhm.
Could we talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, the one thing I'll point out about the total addressable market also is that with that 777 million billion, that's really in the what they call the CSP space, right? The cloud solution provider licensing, and that's where we operate as Stratos Cloud Alliance as a distributor, and that's where our partners operate. So there just continues to be great growth for the CSP licensing area. And so moving forward, they're just trying to go through and streamline, if you will. They used to have, a lot of kind of solution areas. They're trying to focus that down, and basically align all of their incentives, all of their solution designations, all of their people, to these solution areas. So, one of the big areas that they've done is they've combined kind of the modern work along with Dynamics 365 solutions to create the AI business solutions segment or solution play. And so, that's really designed to go through and just help drive, more partners to be able to take advantage of both the modern work solutions with Copilot, as well as, the partners out there that are already doing that, that can take advantage of the Dynamics 365 solutions. So, there's been increases, significant increases in the incentives that Microsoft's putting forth. In the AI, business solutions, I think it's 50%. I'm getting a little feedback, Mike. I don't know if you hear that.
No, you sound great.
Okay. 50% year over year, incentive increases that partners can take advantage of, right? In the cloud and AI platforms, which, really is, a huge portion of that is Azure. Azure continues to grow, and more of our partners are getting into that and leveraging that. There's been a 70% year over year Azure accelerator incentives increase. So, there's just more and more opportunities for partners to get into those solutions. Security basically is the third kind of solution play, and that's 15% year over year, accelerator incentives. So Microsoft's, doubling down, if you will, on those incentives for those areas, for those partners that have their solution designations and specializations, to go after those clients, and their goal really is to get partners to be thinking about, the entire Microsoft cloud platform and selling across all of it. So we know that a lot of our partners are Dynamics focused. We try and help them get spread out into Azure and modern work. There's a lot of partners out there that are modern work focused. We're working
Sure.
to try and help them to get into the business application solution. So, there's incentives out there to be had. We're here working with partners to help them understand it and navigate through that process and take advantage of it.
Yeah. And lots of new things coming out with Copilot, right? They're treating it as this sort of its own platform, 5-in-1 app. What are those 5 areas
Yeah,
that they mentioned?
Copilot continues to evolve, right? And I think it's going to continue to evolve and get better. So, they really refer to it, as you said, as a 5-in-1 app, right? And those apps basically include, Copilot Chat, Copilot Search, Copilot Agents, Copilot Notebooks, and finally Copilot Create. So there's all sorts of different ways that basically partners can get into this and leverage it. I think one of the big questions that Judson had was, the biggest thing is clients, are struggling trying to figure out how to go through and leverage AI. So, it's incumbent upon the partners to be able to go through and understand it and to be able to work with those clients in a number of different roles. You could have advisory roles, you could have proof of concept roles, obviously implementation, delivery. So there's lots of ways that partners can go through and start to take advantage of that. They talked about kind of different levels of utilization of agents, right? Most of what we do now is kind of, human led, leveraging agents to get information and to kind of, do things. The next step would be basically, agents that basically are run by the human, but the human's still kind of controlling it. And then the third level, which we're getting to, is agent led. So the agent that's built by humans really does everything, and the human's not involved unless it's necessary. Like, I'll use the example
Mm-hmm.
of a sales order process, right? An email comes in, the agent can look at it, respond to it, provide product suggestions back. They can respond and have basically a thread on the email where, the client basically says, okay, yeah, I want 3 red chairs. It creates basically a sales order. And obviously, if you want, the human would have to go in and basically just approve that. But
Yeah.
that allows for more, scale for clients to be able to do more with less by leveraging those agents. So
Yeah.
it's definitely a continual involvement of where they're going with AI and the co-pilots.
Sure. Yeah. Always. It's gone so far since it first came out. So it's pretty cool to see all these new features and things coming out. And now Microsoft's focusing a lot on specializing and training into Copilot and partners. And there's not a lot of changes yet, but new AI requirements are coming. What are those? What's upcoming?
What they said for now basically is that the solution designation requirements are basically not changing at this point, and that when they do change, they're going to give partners at least a 6-month kind of advance notice so that they can be prepared for it. So again, the solution designations that are out there and the specializations that are there aren't changing right now. But I do know that they're coming out with basically a co-pilot specialization. So the co-pilot specialization is supposed to be available, in July. They're doing different things with distributor designations. They're making a lot of changes. I know we talked about this before, Mike, with new partner requirements, right? There's new direct CSP partner requirements. There's going to be new distributor requirements that those distributors such as ourselves are going to have to meet, and we're going to be able to get a solution designation. So we're helping partners that have to go through that move from being direct to indirect. You'll basically see, I think there's 87 skilling courses now for AI and Copilot, and that's just going to increase. So there's plenty of opportunities to go through, and I think the way that they put it was skilling and getting solution designations, is now and non-negotiable.
Mm-hmm.
So all of the incentives that basically Microsoft is putting out that align to the new solution plays, right, are going to be tied to the solution designations. So huge opportunity, but there also basically are some requirements to go through and capitalize upon that. And we're helping partners understand where they're at in the solution designation score, in Partner Center, in being able to go through and claim those using MCI and everything else that goes along with it to assist them. So, but it's a really exciting time because there's tons of incentives beyond just the margin that you get on the upfront from selling the licenses.
Yeah. So Scott, my final question: what's the main takeaway for CSP partners right now?
I basically say number one is make sure you're going through and getting into Copilot, right? have some program practice, people getting up to speed, getting skilled on it, maybe looking at, getting a Copilot designation, right? Making sure that you're out there talking to your clients about AI and the Copilots, at least, having those conversations. I'd say second, obviously, is, getting skilled up in the areas that you need to, whether it's the AI and business solutions or cloud and AI. Just skilling, they basically say that's the number one objective, right? Because if you don't have a partner network that's skilled up to be able to deliver these solutions, Microsoft isn't going to go through and be able to hit their vision and their goals. So that's a huge thing. I'd say the other thing would be, look for partnerships, right? Most partners can't do everything. They can't be all things to all clients. So look for partnerships and partners that are going to go through and be able to assist you in the areas that you don't have the expertise. They're going to have resources that you can utilize to help build those practices and service those clients across the entire Microsoft Cloud platform without you as a partner having to go through and have all that expertise under your own roof.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all amazing things that are happening with AI and Copilot in this community and in this channel, and I think you hit the nail on the head. It's those partnerships. We can't all do everything, but the partnerships, the partners that are able to that are able to handle a lot of these things are willing to help. That's Stratos Cloud Alliance. So and that's what we specialize in.
Throw one more promotion, if I will. We're going to be next week out at the Dynamics Communities Business Applications Partner Summit. So if you're attending that next week, certainly we'd love to go through and talk with you, see if there's an opportunity to partner with us and to be able to help you build your Microsoft Cloud practice. I'll be out there along with Jeff Edwards, our Senior Channel VP, as well as our CEO, Robbie Morrison, and Chad Woods, our Chief Revenue Officer. So would love to go through and connect with partners out there. I'll also be attending the Dynamics Community Summit North America meeting, which is going to be held on Tuesday the 22nd as well, for partners that might be attending that, but not attending the BizApps Partner Summit. Selfless.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, of course. Thanks so much, Scott, for being on and being a continued guest here on Stratos Live, of course. And yes, and anyone can reach out to Scott on LinkedIn or his email, smay@stratoscloud.com. Always appreciate you being here, and we'll see everybody next time.
Bye.